Today we're going to replace an employee live on camera. Yeah, exactly. Mike and Mike always with the big hooks. After the video, Michael Jordan almost lost his leg. We'll tell you how. Yeah, exactly. So we're back. We've got Pete with us today. Most of you have seen Pete. You know him from his days as Street Pete from the Uncommon Finds, which, where has that been?
Thing dwindled.
Yeah,
they've
been lost
on the camera.
But today we're here to talk about something important. We've got Amanda Rose off camera to our left here, ominously looking on to ensure we get her what she needs to help with a new job listing, which is to replace Peter in his role.
So sad.
I know, it's been a hell of a ride.
It's been a long ride, yeah.
It's been fun hanging out with you, but in reality, over the last, what has it been, Pete? 7 months? Pete has been serving in a made-up role that he titled the Business Success Specialist.
I didn't make it up, yeah.
Which began as, hey, Pete, you don't know what you want to do yet with your life.
Yeah.
We think that you're amazing, and we want you to spend some time with us as partners as sort of a hybrid executive assistant, support, /admin, /strategist, /help us not suck at life. And you've spent the last 7 months doing that. Mm-hmm. And now we're getting rid of you. You have shed us and you are moving on. So maybe you could start by explaining what is a business success specialist, and then I'll tell you how we're going to change that role.
Yeah, so I think got hired on the Common Thread a couple years ago and kind of did some business development work and some influencer work, served as an account manager for a while, and then really had no idea which one I identified with, didn't really know what I wanted to do. And so you guys came to me at the beginning of January with the opportunity to kind of sit in this role of a liaison between CTC and the partners, and kind of ensure that each department that's siloed by itself, whether it's you as the managing partner or BD or Corey running kind of the brand side of things, kind of worked cohesively as a unit, just because as we grow, obviously process gets harder, communication gets harder, and so kind of someone to ensure that those things didn't get lost along the way.
Yep.
And so kind of took over that role and was unsure what it was really going to be at the beginning.
I think all of us, that's probably true.
But I think it turned into something that I wouldn't trade for the world. It was a learning experience, to sit in every meeting, to sit in all the financial recaps and really understand how are we driving this business forward? What does it mean to hire new people? What does it mean to lose a client or to find clients of higher value? What does it mean to run an agency? What does it mean to maintain culture as you grow?
Yep.
Kind of all these things that as a young person and as someone who wants to be an entrepreneur someday or a business owner is kind of invaluable experience that I don't think I would have gotten elsewhere.
Yeah.
And hope that I contributed something back to you guys as well. So
yeah,
that's kind of my experience in the role and something I hope that whoever steps into this role next, as it's ever changing, can kind of make their own and provide their own value to CTC.
Yeah, so when Pete stepped into this role, our hope was that by giving him visibility into how normal and just average people we were, it would develop in him sort of, one, the ability to see within the course of looking at a lot of the business what it is that he desired to do, and also to develop the confidence that he was incredibly capable of being anything that he wanted. And he has flourished more than we ever anticipated. I think watching him grow into the confidence that he has in BD and other things by getting to spend time with me and Jordan on calls and sitting in meetings and understanding how CTC really intimately works. Pete has now crushed it, and he's moving on to a role overseeing a lot of our business development here. So what that leaves is a void in this business success specialist. So what we are doing is we're sort of renaming this role based on the experience that we saw Pete have and we think we have the potential to recreate. And so we're calling this an Entrepreneurial Apprenticeship, which is a fixed term position. Our vision is for it to last about a year, could be faster like it was in your case, but no more than a year, where the idea would be that someone would get to come in, take over that same position where you have really intimate access to the partners, to the operation of the business, and learn from that. in hopes that you can take that as a platform for your own development into whatever it is in your own business or within a different part of CTC. So this is a really unique position at CTC that will have more access to the inner workings of our business than any other position in the company. And so we're really opening this up to see sort of who's out there. And there's a lot of criteria that we have. The number one being we got to love spending time around them. You'll spend a lot of time with us as the partners. We saw a lot of Peter over the course of this. But Pete, maybe from your perspective, what do you think someone who would be successful in this role, what kind of traits would they have? What are the attributes of somebody who will thrive in this position?
Yeah, I'd say first of all, you need to be driven for your own reasons. I think when you're unsure as a young person what you want to do in the working world, there's a lot of pathways you can take. When you're not a lawyer, you're not a doctor, you don't kind of have this single-minded track, it becomes really difficult, right? Because as a young person, there's so many things you can do, and there's so many people telling you just do whatever you want to do what you're passionate about, right. and realistically that almost makes it harder because you could do anything.
Yeah.
So you need to
be with somebody who has the zeal for life that you do and just loves everything.
You gotta love everything, yeah. Right? There's no other way to go about it. But you gotta be driven for your own reasons. There has to be something outside of work, outside of the people here, that kind of drive you to stay motivated and trying to figure it out.
Right.
And then also, I think you need to understand that it's okay to be behind the scenes and do a lot of the work that may not be recognized and kind of play for the longer game, because you're going to be working for a long time. Like realistically, we're going to be all working for the next 30, 40 years coming right out of college. And so just because you haven't settled on your favorite job, or you haven't identified that you're great at sales, or that you're a great account manager, or you're a great strategist, doesn't mean that you can't participate in the process of figuring that out. So being a willing participant to figure it out, and then being driven for your own reasons, I think are two really important things.
That's huge. So there's a couple things that you hit on there. One is, like, as CTC continues to grow and develops a reputation for being an awesome place to work, we get a lot of people who want to work here because it seems fun, right? And that's, I have a deep appreciation for that. I know there's a lot of people that are in jobs that suck to go to and it's really hard, but I would say that this definitely isn't a position that you should apply for if it's because you want to work at CTC. Like, we're literally saying that there's a fixed time to this, where our expectation is that you take what you're learning and you're moving on. And now maybe that does end up within CTC, but it really isn't about coming to learn from the culture of CTC. So I would totally agree that you have to be driven to use this opportunity as a learning platform for your own growth and your own development of whatever it is that you want to go do. And the second thing, and I put this in the job description, is this combination of humility and ambition that you sort of, where you have to be willing, like, you are going to get lunch and you are going to have to go to the printer and print out everything for the board meeting. Like, there's going to be work that is administrative, that's just grinding out, helping me figure out when I can go see my tax person, like whatever it is. Like, you got to help us to stay on track. But within that, you're going to have, like, also you're going to sit in those same board meetings, and we're going to ask your opinion about things. And you're going to have the opportunity to speak into things that are really real. So being willing to come in with the humility to do whatever task is necessary, but also to have the ambition to see yourself as something far beyond that, is really key to this.
Totally. You got to be a willing participant in the process, and as Common Thread grows, there's growing pains along the way. So that's what you're signing up for when you come here, is continuing to hope to help that growth as it grows.
And I think that's the thing that I would say Pete has embodied more than anything, is this dude drives every day from LA, and there was never been one thing that we've ever asked of him that was followed by a complaint. Now, that doesn't mean it wasn't followed by, hey, I think we could do this better, or this might work more efficiently if we don't do that, or whether it was helping with PETA when Jordan went out of town, or, like I said, figuring out how to plan an event 3 days before it happened for Gary Vee. Like, just literally took on anything. And even though I know a lot of the stuff sucked, and one of the things that's hard and why we need this role is because we aren't the most organized people in the world, and it's actually like a flaw of mine and Jordan's, is that, like, we can get out of control and we can lose perspective on what it is that we're trying to accomplish. And so if you think about that, we as the partners have the core responsibility of orchestrating the culture and ensuring that the vision comes to fruition here at CTC. Like, your job is to ensure we stay committed to that, right? And so it's an incredibly important responsibility that I think has to be shared that has to be approached both humbly, but also with, like, great conviction, right?
Totally.
And I think early on, one of the things that I said to you is, like, I want you, like, here are my values. I want you to now feel freedom to tell me if I'm outside of that or to schedule things within the confines of that. Like, so you have to be a decision maker that upholds the values that we have.
Right. And I think the last thing I'd say on that is like, when I think about it in the context of my own life, like when you're born, you have your parents and your family, and those are kind of your drivers and your decision makers. Then you go to school and you have your teachers and your friends, and those are kind of your decision makers and your drivers. But as soon as you get into the working world, like, you're kind of on your own. And when you don't really have that set path for yourself, it becomes really challenging. And this is like a once in a lifetime opportunity to have a built-in set of role models, decision makers, really wise people that are looking out for you at the same time that you have the ability to look out for them. That I think whoever steps into this role next will really cherish and learn to love. So whoever it is, I hope you find this place and love it as much as I did.
Cool. So if you're out there and you're an aspiring entrepreneur, you have a desire to sort of look into the inside of a business, get to be involved in really intimate conversations about how this place runs, you have that sort of combination of hustle or humility and ambition, we would love to hear from you. We would love for you to take the opportunity to apply to be the next, and really the first Entrepreneurial Apprentice here at CTC, and you'll get to hang out with Corey and I a lot, which is sort of a perk sometimes.
It's a pretty good time.
Yeah. Cool. We look forward to hearing from all of you, and we'll look forward to putting you right here on the couch and hearing about how you ended up in this unique position. Thanks, everyone.